Hi, this is Seb from Nextbop.com. We're back live from the Montreal Jazz Festival, and our special guest today is Jef Neve. So thanks for joining us.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here.
I was wondering if you could just start off for those who are not too familiar with your music, if you could elaborate on your studies and if you have any in your parcours. We say.
Okay. I'm coming from Brussels. I'm living there. I'm having different projects. I'm here with Jose James, singer Jose James, representing an album which is called For All We Know. And actually we did some work on standards, and that's actually what is on this Impulse record. It's an Impulse record. I'm also involved in this project which is called Facing East, and we're doing our tribute to John Coltrane,
wow.
Legendary John Coltrane. And besides of that, I'm terribly busy playing concerts with my own trio. I've got a new bass player in that trio, which is New York-based bass player Ruben Samama.
Okay.
He's originally from the Netherlands. And my drummer is Teun Verbrugge. He's living in Brussels, and he's also playing around the world with his projects. And one that you may know maybe here in Canada is called Flat Earth Society. They've played a couple of times here.
Okay. Can you talk? I'm interested by your Coltrane tribute.
Okay.
Like what kind of formation and.
So the Coltrane tribute is a quintet, okay. With Michael Campagna playing saxophone. There is Richard Spaven on drums. He comes from London. Then there is Neville on bass, Neville Malcolm, also based in London, and then Jose James and myself. And actually, we started doing this project with the idea of taking the, let's say, the mystical sound of John Coltrane as our center point, our concentration point. And so we do a lot of his compositions, but also some compositions of his wife, Alice Coltrane. Okay. Because I think she's one of those underestimated composers, and so this is our way to thank her for her contribution actually to that beautiful music they made. Yeah.
Also, could you talk to us about a little bit your inspirations? Because I find that I loved your trio albums, but they were more rocky, let's say, and then your solo album is a lot more classical, and so I was curious if you had a classical formation or what kind of music you listen to. And
I definitely have a classical formation. I mean, that's probably the first music that I was listening to. As a kid, I grew up with listening to Mozart, Bach, and the real classical composers. And then when I was growing up, I discovered also all the romantic composers, going from mainly from Beethoven over Brahms, over Rachmaninoff. I've listened a lot to Rachmaninoff. Definitely got interested in Stravinsky's music, and then now I try to stay in touch as well with the contemporary composers. I'm always interested in what they are thinking about music and their new views on making music. And for example, there is this young composer living in Belgium that I like a lot. It was really incredible. He's called Bram van Kamp. Bram van Kamp, if you say it in English. And he's really incredible because for me he combines good melodies with new harmonies. I don't know how he does all that shit, but it's really interesting. And his orchestration is just magnificent. And so that's actually a very important influence, I think, in my music. I also, of course, I listen a lot to jazz. I'm doing a radio show myself in Belgium, so I mean, I'm always in touch by discovering new music, new musicians. That's pretty interesting. That's also the way I met Jose James, honestly. That's that part. But then actually, I listen to very different music. I'm also a huge Radiohead fan, like a lot of jazz musicians actually. Yeah. But I also enjoy Irish folk music. I can listen to Latin music. I like Arabic tradition as well. I'm into Indian music, so actually I don't have a lot of boundaries. I think as long as that music is inspired played by people with like beautiful souls, then I think that's something that's gonna touch me. So I call it my influence.
So are you working on an album right now?
Actually, I am. This song that I performed here for you guys was actually a thing that just came up on this tour. I've been touring with Jose over the United States and Canada for 3 weeks. And just on doing sound checks, this song came out, and I'm still working on it. It's not finished yet. But I'm definitely gonna try to put it on my next album, and I'm recording actually the 2nd week of July, so in a couple of days.
And is it solo or trio? Or?
It's a trio record.
Trio record.
Yeah.
Cool. And just to finish off, I mean, probably since the 50s, there's been debate of the health of jazz and the audience and everything, and we'd like your opinion as an artist on what you think is the shape of jazz now and the shape of jazz to come.
So, if is your question like, what is my opinion on jazz today, or
I mean, on like the health of the music, because people are saying the audience is getting older and smaller, and I mean, as an artist, do you see that, or?
You know, there is definitely something in the air for the moment with jazz. That's at least my opinion. I mean, I have the impression that nowadays there are a lot more young listeners than like 10 or 20 years ago. And I think it comes with musical education, jazz education in European music schools. I don't know for Canada or the States, but for us it's definitely something new. And so I see my audience growing with youngsters actually. That's actually very encouraging. It's beautiful to see that. And the nice thing is, because I used to teach for a while, the nice thing is that I see now that all those young people start to create their own music and find their own ways of, or their own approach of this improvised music, and they come up with pretty exciting new stuff. So I think actually jazz has a future, definitely. I think this music is mixing up with new styles. I mean, for example, all those cats who are doing all, for example, all those Radiohead covers like Brad Mello, but that's only one direction. I think there is also a very interesting direction of people mixing it up with electro music or with influences that comes even not from an acoustic sound, and that's actually very interesting. So I do believe jazz is not dead; it's just growing into something new, and I hope that people still get inspired by listening to music that doesn't really actually correspond immediately to satisfaction. I mean, jazz is maybe not the most easiest music to discover, but it's definitely one of the most interesting music to discover.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So Jef Neve, on tour with Jose James. Make sure to catch him if he's down your area, or otherwise listen to his solo and trio work on Nextbop.com. Thank you very much.
Nice.